Hey everyone. So this recording, the following recording, it took place after Incident Report 168910. It's a recording of the hearing, and this was before any outcomes or sanctions and stuff were decided. But yeah, like there were four people in this meeting: me, the two student affairs staff, and then my support person. Unfortunately, for some reason the audio didn't capture for the person that was for my support person. So I'm gonna be adding commentary, speaking about what they said. This can be confirmed by the participants of this hearing too, whether that was true or not. And I'm also gonna be adding commentary to highlight a few points to help get a better understanding of what the communications were, any underlying messages and stuff. But I'll try to keep it as limited as possible so that you guys can decide yourselves. So yeah, I'm gonna play the hearing now, and you guys can take a look at it.
Okay, so what were we discussing?
So,
Yes, Daryl.
can I just stop you for a second?
Right away as the meeting started, I was trying to speak about an issue that I had. They kind of cut me off, but that's okay because I do understand that they have they're the ones moderating and leading this hearing, so that's fine. But I did want to point that out. That was the way this meeting started, and throughout the meeting, the rest of the meeting, you can see this kind of take place, this kind of power tactics occur. Also, you guys will notice that throughout the hearing, there's a certain tone that the student affairs staff speak in. It's almost like they're talking to a child who doesn't understand what they're talking about, and they're trying to teach him or her a lesson. So it's like there's smiles, there's smiling going on all the time, excessive smiling, and then there's excessive smiling along with that, trying to talk down to students in a condescending tone. This is something I noticed. I did want to point it out, but you guys can take a look at it and decide yourselves.
If we can have an introduction to your support person and let us know who they are and if they can turn their camera on, that would be lovely.
Mm-hmm. So my support person, she's a student, she's a close friend of mine, and she's a student at York University. So she's brought her in. I told her that you don't have to keep your camera on, so I don't know if she's prepared for that or not, but
So at this point, she was talking about, she just introduced herself, my support person. She was saying that she's a student, and she's worked at a legal firm in the past as well. She did say that she wasn't prepared for the camera, so she's gonna keep the camera turned off.
It's good to meet you.
So what I'll do is I'll give you an overview of the process, and then Eshtaham, you can certainly
You can see my name mispronounced there, Eshtaham. That's a start.
Eshtaham, you can certainly let us know your concerns with the process, and then we'll go from there. Okay. So today we are meeting about the incidents that were alleged to have happened in Incident Report 168910, which I know that you received a copy of already. And so, according to the notification of hearing, there were two sections of the code of conduct that those communications or those allegations are alleged to have violated. And so we're here today to give you an opportunity to speak to those concerns that were identified, and to hear from you. It's an opportunity for you to be heard regarding those concerns. In terms of the process, sometimes after we've heard from a respondent, we are able to make a determination right away as to whether or not we feel a violation of the student code of conduct has occurred. Sometimes we may need to go away and gather some more information and then circle back with an outcome or a determination of whether the code has been violated or not. So today we will hear from you. It's an opportunity to be heard, it's an opportunity for you to give us any information that you feel is relevant, and I may have some additional questions after you have the chance to be heard. Do you have any questions so far?
yeah, I wonder what would have happened if I didn't show up to the meeting. So what would the proceedings be?
So if you hadn't shown up to the hearing, we would likely have tried to get a hold of you and have rescheduled, give you an opportunity to reschedule, and inform you that if you chose not to attend again, then you would have had, we likely would have made a determination in your absence.
So they're gonna make a determination in my absence. You can see that this is something that they did last time without even reaching out to me through campus security. So they reached out once. That's there in the correspondence. Is one general information release that's been put out, and you can see that they're saying this is the reason why I asked the question. If I didn't show, if I for some reason didn't show up or didn't know about this hearing, what would they have done? So you can see how they're trying to say that they're gonna make a decision in my absence.
Okay.
Mhm. Okay, so are you ready to proceed?
Sure.
Excellent.
So you did mention that you had some concerns that Daryl was not here in this hearing, and as I mentioned to you, Daryl was never intended to hear the complaint. I was scheduled to hear the complaint. Daryl was going to be an administrative support for the hearing, and since you have raised concerns with his participation in the process, we've opted to reschedule at your request and have Alicia support the hearing today. So just wanted to clarify that.
It's interesting that you mentioned that because Daryl, he himself, as the director of student affairs, should have known that there were tensions in the past. That he was trying to step in and not let me email. So he should have been the one that fixed it himself. I shouldn't have had to reach out to student affairs and tell them that this is what happened between Daryl. I didn't even request Daryl to not be there. I wanted Daryl to be there, but they decided to not let him, not have him show up to the meeting, and had Alicia join instead.
So I'm going to give you an opportunity now to speak to any of the concerns that were identified in the.
I have concerns with every single incident that was mentioned. The incident report is very biased, super biased, and it's totally unjust. So.
Okay.
So can you walk me through those specific incidents and those specific
Concerns.
So first of all, I do want to, so Daryl, the process being biased, it has to do with, student affairs itself. So I'm sure, you guys have talked to or Daryl has talked to you about this, but if he didn't, then, there were emails sent out between me and him. And Daryl was, interfering in, I reached out to marketing communications to discuss, information with students regarding the student union politics and stuff. So he came out to me and he was telling me that emails cannot be sent out under the university policy. He was quoting me some vague policy. So he was quoting me a policy saying the email should be the ITS policy. So he was quoting me that, and he was saying that the policy has the email should be used for fair purposes and stuff. So it's one sec. So the email should be used for fair purposes and all that. And I was totally writing a fair email that had, nothing to do with, harming students or anything as such. And then he's interfering and telling me that policy cannot be used. So we had a little bit of a back and forth. And then after that, he started quoting me the respectful work and learning environment policy, which makes no sense because I said nothing rude, nothing, that's not respectful. But, just because I'm being a little bit, what's the word? A little bit bold with the way I'm approaching things does not mean that it's straight up disrespectful. Like, that's the way he took it. That's not my fault. And then from that, all of a sudden I hear about this hearing. And before this hearing as well, security, right? So campus security, I think it was mentioned in the incident report as well. So the campus security reached out to me. They reached out to me once, and it was a super vague email. And I was getting bombarded with emails at that time. How am I supposed to go ahead and, make sure that this hearing would not happen through that from one email? They did not follow up to that email, nothing as such. And then all of a sudden I hear about this hearing, and some student is alleging some, harassment and threatening behavior over it. Makes no sense.
So I hear your concerns. Ashham, you can certainly let us know your concerns with the process. So I hear your concerns.
I hear your concerns.
With respect to Daryl and with respect to the campus security process, absolutely. If you have concerns about those particular incidents, you are welcome to raise.
There's a lot of incidents. I can't, go ahead and disclose every single. Like Alicia, with yourself as well, you reached out to me about mental health, providing mental health services and stuff, and all of a sudden, within like a few hours, you get sick for 12 days. Because right then I was mentioning to Daryl, I was talking to Daryl about, sending out these emails and stuff. And I did
This is not even 12 days. It was for 14 days. And you can see right now how she cuts me off when I was speaking about this. You'll see now.
To students, and then you get sick all of a sudden. So I know, I'm not saying.
So I'm going to stop you right there. So Ashham, you can certainly let us know your concerns with the process. Ashham, you can certainly let us know your concerns with the process.
I hear your concerns.
So
Sure.
this hearing is not related to concerns about.
I'm going to stop you right there. So she told me earlier that I could raise my concerns, and then all of a sudden she's saying that I'm going to stop you right there.
Related to concerns about the student affairs staff or about campus security. It's about the incident that's in front of us, right? So I'm going to ask you to keep your comments related to that. I understand you have concerns with the process.
And
this
so-
is regarding the process itself. This is totally regarding the process.
So I understand that you have.
And then it's regarding
concerns
student
related-
affairs officials that are, I totally feel that there's a biased approach towards me, and that's why I'm mentioning this.
You know what? And again, if that's how you feel, you are welcome to raise that in the appeal process. And you're also welcome to raise a complaint or concern to Brad Clark, who is the director of Student Life and Success.
It's funny that she's saying this because I have to go through all of this and then defend myself, and then after that I can't raise the bias process and everything here, but I have to raise it in the appeal, which I actually ended up doing with the appeal process and stuff too, which will come out soon. But for now, it's a part of this process as well. But for now, you can see how they're trying to deflect responsibility of what's going on with this.
So
How do I
you
know they're not going to be biased?
Well, I guess that's it's the escalation of the
complaint process. So that's what you have to do. You
So
can
every
also
single
raise a
individual is
complaint
working
concern.
together collectively against me,
You
and or at
raise
least it
complaint or
totally feels
concern.
that way. And then you're telling me that all of a
That's
sudden, if I escalate it, they're going to be good. Then listen to what I'm going to say.
I'm just trying to tell you what your options are. You can also raise a complaint or concern with our ombudsperson, who's an independent third party at the
Just to
university.
point out, BUSU is a third party too, and you can see how the university and BUSU collaborate together.
Whom we informed you of for this hearing, that you are absolutely welcome to have the ombuds present, and so that's another escalation point for you, for your concerns. And if you have a concern with campus security, your escalation point for campus security would be to get a hold of their director, the ombudsperson for both of those, but also the director of campus security, Donna Moody. Okay, so I understand that you have concerns with process. And some of your interactions with staff on campus, and those are options or things that you can raise in different formats. This particular hearing is your opportunity to speak to the allegations that are in this complaint, in the incident report that you received. And so I really want to give you an opportunity to be able to speak to those concerns or those allegations. So if we can keep it direct to affording you opportunity to respond, that would be great. So would you like to tell me a little bit about your interactions with Ashton online? Between the periods,
I only had one direct interaction with him, and that was the message that he used to say that was threatening and harassment, and then you guys accepted that and started a hearing over it. I have a document here, and I'd like to go over. It's regarding the incident, and everything is that I want to mention is that they're in it.
So is it a written document that you're submitting?
I'm not submitting any documents. I just want to go over it myself.
I actually ended up submitting documents to them as well. I just didn't want this one to be recorded. This one to be. I just didn't want to submit this recording because it was for myself and for me to raise these concerns, these points during the hearing. But you can see the documents that have been submitted to them have been posted as well. And you can see even after all of this, all of the case summary, 12-page case summary, all the evidences and stuff, they still decided to make a decision against me at the end. And then against me in the appeal process as well.
Oh, so you'd like to read it?
Yes.
Okay, absolutely.
Okay, so first part of the incident report is that the background, the 2022 BUSU elections were met with much election controversy, which was resolved via a third-party investigation, which found the allegations unsubstantiated. So first of all, this is already a biased statement because I said that the investigation conclusions were not, the half of the investigation was a failure, and then Student Affairs completely ignored whatever I said, whatever I was posting, and then they're like the allegations were they found the allegations unsubstantiated. So what right does Student Affairs have to accept or deny an allegation by BUSU, which is a third party not related to the university? And then second, it looks like they're attempting to support the corruption that's taking place in BUSU, and it's interfering in student politics as well. And then, I have been involved in student politics, and, I have my own, sources of information where I get information regarding the investigation. I'm discussing information I'm getting involved in the politics. I'm getting information, directly from communicating with people as well. So they can't it's by saying this is unsubstantiated, it's throwing a biased attempt, and it's saying that it's denying my right to speak against the investigation and stuff that has taken place, and kind of attempting to suppress my voice. So that's the first thing. Second, it says Campus Security Services had other reports regarding Big and their social media posts that have been perceived as threatening in nature. So again, this goes back to the bias process. Campus Security Services, and there have been an issue with Campus Security Services before as well. I actually did raised this with the ombudsperson since we were discussing about it. But I did not mention the full details and everything about it. I just told them that this is what happened. There was a campus security service incident.
Over here, you'll see how they try to cut me off again and forcefully telling me now we're only going to be talking about what we want to talk about. But you'll see.
Any other, the only allegations that we're hearing are the ones related to Ashton. At
This is the incident report. I'm discussing directly about the incident report.
Yep.
Yep. So please let me just mention all the points that I've written down.
Uh,
So, okay. So next it says Basanthe Vandermeer is now a faculty BUSAC counselor. So now you can see that he's holding a position of power and he's attempting to represent, students and represent me. My money through courses goes to BUSU. It goes like $250, $300, and I'm sure, and it goes for many, like every other student as well. Their money, their funds also goes to BUSU. So the fact that he's trying to represent us, we have a right to speak against him. Like we can't be just, he can't be saying it's harassment just because we're talking to him, or certain individuals before as well. They were like, they were being harassed. Okay, but that's not a part of the incident, so it's fine. We can keep it out.
The first incident where campus security took, and then they were also they were basically trying to find ways to label me as harassment, threatening. And then I talked to them. There was a whole hour-long hour-long meeting with campus security. It's, information about that has been posted in the general information release too, of how they tried to cheat, through using the student code of conduct, through using their system. So that was what I was referring to over here.
But yeah, so this is an important point because he's a BUSAC counselor now, and he's holding a position of power in the student union, which my money goes to. So Basanthe Vandermeer reports that they have not ever met Beg in person or nor other friends. However, they have admitted they commented on a few of Tisham Beg's post on Instagram from their account. So why wasn't the nature of his comments mentioned in this incident report? His comments didn't seem like harassment or threatening, because he did say quite a few things. I have screenshots of everything, and I have screenshots of what he was liking and all of that. So I will read it out to you. I have it here as well. I'm going to read it out.
If you have screenshots, I would love to be able to see them, because that would be documentary evidence. Obviously, this is your opportunity to provide that information.
I can show it to you, but I wouldn't like any any screenshots or anything taken off this.
So the reason why I said this was because I don't want, I wanted the evidence to be with me. I don't want, the other side to take the information, the evidences that I have, and start twisting and turning it. So that's the reason why I said that. But you can see, you can see the third person who was there in this hearing, the second student affairs coordinator, who so you can see that she was her hands were moving and stuff once the screen starts. So it did look a little suspicious to me, but I don't want to make any comments on that. You guys can decide yourself.
I can verify the date on it by seeing it, and the time and the
So
right
the screenshots were taken. The screenshots were taken before the date. I can provide you if you need that.
So the screenshots the dates aren't relevant. You can't.
So no, when I take the screenshots, it's like 2 days ago, 3 days ago. So that's the issue. So it won't say like the exact date, but I can get you the date by looking at the time before again.
Okay.
All right. So.
I can't. It's very, very small. I can't.
Yes. I'm gonna zoom in.
Okay. Thank you.
So Basanthe Vandermeer said he can't recall the comments and stuff. Of course he can't recall, because this is the stuff he was saying. Like, look at this. This is the first one. Can you see it?
Sucks to suck. Is that what that says?
Yep. Is that not, harassment? And he's part of another bigger mob group that is mobbing me on social media and completely, they have, slandered other candidates and stuff. The investigation report actually revealed that there was a student group within, there was a small group of students that were, smearing against the vice president of finance and administration of last year. So this is one comment here. And then this was on April 11th. This is when he wrote the comment.
Okay.
This is the next one.
Okay.
And he, of course, he deleted this comment thinking it wouldn't get captured, but I got it captured right here. So this is another one.
So April 4th, I'm sorry. My eyes are old and I cannot.
Sorry about that.
Thank you.
There you go.
He literally is friends with corruption. Is that what that says?
Yes,
And
that's
that
one.
is in response to one of your comments?
Yep. No, this is someone I knew. He commented this on one of my posts. So he was saying, you showed values of true leader and stuff. So he wasn't writing negative comments, writing negative
He-
commentary, trying to smear me. And this was, when I was trying to run a presidential campaign, which I got denied from Busu. Busu denied me from running. And then, there were, if you want to talk about that, we can discuss that as well. But since we're talking about the incident, I was getting denied. And then these guys were mobbing and smearing me on social media. So why doesn't, Ashton mention this stuff that's happening?
Okay, so your claim is that on April 4th, when
Yes,
you made
that's
a
on April 4th.
post, a friend of yours replied with a positive interaction, a positive statement, and then Ashton made this statement.
Yep. And you can see he has a like in there as well. So you can see that they are a part of, I'll show you about that as well. There's a part of a bigger mob group that's mobbing me on social media and actually harassing me. I'm not harassing this guy. He's the one actually harassing me. And then the moment I speak against him, he says it's threatening and harassing him.
Okay, so, okay, go ahead.
Yes. So this is about 5 weeks ago. He liked this comment. So he tried to delete that comment, but I got another one captured here. So this was the comment, and this was his him liking it below.
Okay.
So there's as you can see, there's a clear repetition of his actions and stuff. So they're collectively, I mentioned, they're collectively mobbing me on social media, and then they're smearing
So
individual.
if
They're
I
smearing me.
Can I
And
just sorry to interrupt, Ashton.
Funny, they can't even pronounce my name right, and then they had me write an essay on professional communication. They keep saying Esteham.
If I can just summarize what I think I've heard you say, just to make sure that my understanding is clear, that in addition to the comments that campus security has put in the incident report, you have 3 additional incidents of Ashton making what you consider to be a pattern of harassing behavior towards you. He's liked a comment that was negative about you. He has made a negative post about you on April 4th, related in response to an individual who supported you, and then he made an additional comment on April 11th?
I need to check the exact date. Oh, you're talking about the which
The
one?
ones that you
comment?
just showed me. So
Yeah, the first one was April 11th. Next one is
April
April 4th.
11th, April 11th, April 4th, and April 5th, right?
Yes.
Okay.
This one, yeah.
Perfect. Thank you. I just wanted to make sure I had those details.
Okay.
And then, did you want to continue on in terms of your response to?
I do have a few points here as well. So you can see, look at this. These are, people liking each other's comments. Matthew Chancellor, he's one of the top people in this image. He's one of the close friends of Ashton. These guys are all bunching up and liking negative comments against me and commenting negative stuff. Now look at this. This is another one. This was the one Ashton mentioned in the incident report. Hey, quick question: are you insane? This was during my, when I was running my presidential. This is one he was trying to smear me indirectly by these comments and stuff. So that's there. That's another thing. At the top you can see another one here. There's another comment, and then look at this. This is like they're using burner accounts to comment against me, and they're liking each other's comments and stuff. So here, this is another image. This is Ashton on the right. That's his friend. This was the friend over here. You can see they're all liking each other's comments. He also wrote negative comments here. You can see Matthew, and then they're all liking. They're all mobbing up on me. This is Charlie. She's another member in student union as well. So these guys are all together, and they're all teaming up on me.
Okay, so you feel that you.
So it's funny. She starts saying, "So you feel like it's about my feelings." This isn't about my feelings. This is facts in front of you. So, they were bringing up his gender and sexual identity. I don't even know where that came from in the incident report. So that's why I was like, you want to bring social justice in? Sure, I can bring social justice in as well. So you'll hear my point right here.
I'm being harassed, and I'm actually, these guys are actually mobbing me on social media. And this is because there's so many problems that I'm dealing with, so many issues regarding the student politics. I can't come and make complaints about everything that's going on. And these are little issues. I don't care about them. By coming here, Ashton complaining about this stuff, and me being brought to a hearing forcefully is actually taking up my time and giving me additional stress in regards to all the stuff that's taking place. So it's like, it's totally unfair. Now he's talking about gender and sexual identity. I can complain, like I'm saying, okay, this hearing and Ashton is Islamophobic to me because I have post about I had some Ottoman Empire posts on my stories. So just because of that, I think they're Islamophobic. They don't like me because of my Muslim identity.
Are you making that claim?
Yeah, sure, I'm making that claim.
Okay, thank you. So are there any other pieces of information that you would like to share that kind of contextualizes? And what I think I'm hearing from your comments is that, or for what you've raised, is that you're providing some context for the back and forth between yourself and Ashton, and providing some context to the April 14th direct message that you sent to Ashton.
Yep.
Is there any other context that you'd like to provide?
They're saying context for the back and forth. There was literally no back and forth. I was just minding my own business, doing my own thing, and then this guy starts coming and harassing me and mobbing me up with his friends.
I wouldn't be dealing with these people if they weren't in BUSU and they weren't taking my money and they weren't representing students and stuff. The reason, there is back and forth tensions because this is student politics, and by student affairs getting involved, by student affairs taking this all the way to a hearing. First of all, student affairs should be, they should be aware of the stuff that's happening without involving the individuals who are going through the issues and dealing with the tensions that is taking place. But by the fact that why weren't the other students brought to the hearing? Why weren't the students that had investigation results on them brought to the hearing? Why am I being brought to the meeting when they're mobbing up on me, and they're working with student affairs to get this get me sanctioned and unjustly charged for nothing?
So this is a hearing regarding these particular concerns. Should you have wanted to bring a witness to this incident, you're welcome to do so.
Just diverting the topic. Should you have wanted to bring a witness? Now you'll see now how they try to act like I don't have a witness, and that's why nothing that I said is true. And then they'll like, that way they can get what they want to do. They can sanction me however they want. But the fact is that I bought a witness in this hearing, and you'll see. You just hear the communications that what happened.
You're provided with information in advance of that we are hearing today. We don't have any witnesses that we are bringing forward today, so this is the context that we're adjudicating. So, did you have any other comments you'd like to make before I ask some questions?
So now my support person, starts speaking as my witness. They said that there's no witness, but I ended up having a witness in this hearing. So my support person actually started speaking as my witness, and since their mic did not capture, I'm gonna add comments on it. This can be confirmed later on, by the student affairs staff and support person as well, whether this was true or not. I'm just gonna paraphrase what they said.
You can ask me questions.
Yeah, but did you have a question?
So now she starts talking about how she witnessed all of this stuff happened. She saw, she witnessed that, Ashton was harassing me with his friends on social media. The comments, she saw those comments in there as well. And then she also said, the only association that she's known me to have with Ashton is through the student union, that I've never had any interactions with him before, never met him, and it's only because of his position and, his position in student affairs, sorry, not student affairs, his position in the student union. That's the way, that's through that I know him. And I never met him, never had any interaction. The message that was sent out was the only message.
So one the most.
And also Ashton had one of the most comments. That's what she was saying. One of the most comments on my social media accounts. So they were coming after me, and that we did not.
This is just the tip of the iceberg, by the way. This is just the tip of the iceberg.
Yeah. So this was the tip of the iceberg, and we did not know Ashton in any personal capacity. It's been a while, so it's difficult to remember what exactly was said, but these were the key points that were mentioned, that she mentioned as my witness.
Okay, so so Hiba, I've heard what you've said. Thank you for your comments. We were not expecting you to be participating as a witness today.
Of course, they were not expecting her to participate as a witness.
But since you've made comments, if there are any screenshots that you have or any documentary evidence that you would like to, to provide us, we would be happy to hear that. But what I am hearing you say is that you believe that you witnessed.
Look at the wording. You believe that you witnessed. It's not that she witnessed, and it's not that these are facts. It's opinions and what people think and what people feel in a hearing.
Some of the back and forth, or some of the comments that you feel are inappropriate towards Ashton and specifically related to Ashton. Okay, perfect. So if I may, if you finished, providing us with context, I do have a couple questions that I'd like to ask.
So you'll see now the questions that she asked, they're structured, they're framed in a very, it's almost like they're trying to extract a statement out of me so that they can write it down and then make a decision on what I say based off. It's biased questions. They're basically pretending to, how the media asks biased questions. They're going to be asking questions like that. You'll see.
So, as you're aware, on April 14th, it's alleged that you made that comment to Ashton. Thanks for completely exposing yourself and using your personal account. You've been added to the list with all the required information. I'm going to rain hell on all of you. Do not worry. You can let your friends know of this update as well. Enjoy your time for now. What did you mean when you said I'm going to rain hell on all of you? Do not worry.
That was directed at Busu, like regarding Bus, the small group of individuals within Busu who are infiltrating the positions and trying to take over the student union. So it was nothing to do with, I don't know why he would feel, if like it wasn't like a personal, physical threat or, anything to cause him mental distress. It was to get them, deal with the bigger issue, which is regarding Busu. So if he wants to perceive it as something that is a personal attack on him, that's first of all it wasn't, but if he's taking it that way, then I can't help it. Like that's
Okay.
his that's his perception and his assumption.
Directed, like the email was, or the comment was Ashton, so it was a personal interaction.
Like they were trying to get me to say it's a personal interaction. In fact, it was, if we're looking at it from that way, Ashton was personally interacting with my social media posts and stuff. So, and then even in my message, it was a message directed at, it was a message saying, I specifically mentioned friends in the message as well. So it wasn't just Ashton, it wasn't personal at all. But they're trying to frame it this way so that they were able to, so that they can get
Right, like
sanctioned.
direct.
It was a personal
directed
interaction.
specifically to
Yes.
him. So when you said I'm going to rain hell on all of you soon, do not worry, you meant I'm going to expose the Busu corruption for what it is.
Yes.
Not I'm going to personally
Yes.
attack you or have negative personal interactions or
Yep, I have nothing personal against him. I the only reason, he's one of the individuals that's involved in a bigger issue, which is regarding, the corruption that's taking place within the student union.
Okay. Can you see how one might interpret a statement like that as threatening, or one might worry about their safety if someone made that kind of statement to them?
Yeah, 100%. But the fact is that he's coming and writing stuff on me, and he's, harassing me with his group of friends. So it would be, just because I send him a message saying as such, which is directed at a group, he wants to assume it, it's a personal attack on him. I can't help it. Like, I can't do much for that.
Okay, so you're acknowledging that you made the comment. You acknowledge that it could be interpreted as something that someone might be concerned about their safety. Is that correct?
No, I'm not saying that it's something that someone might be concerned of their safety, because I don't think I attacked their safety or anything. But some individuals, I do understand they can have they can have very corrupt practices, but very nimble and weak minds. So if they want to assume it, okay, I understand that some people can take it as a threat to their safety, which it was not, though. There's no way that was a threat to their safety.
Okay, so it was not your intention to threaten their safety. It was your intention to make comment about your actions related to Busuu corruption.
Yes.
You acknowledge the statement. You acknowledge that, perhaps some folks with weaker sensibilities might interpret this as threatening or as concern for their safety, but that was not your intention.
Yes.
From this perspective, I can even say that me talking to a person and a person, me talk, I can, from this perspective, I can even say that Ashton making comments on my post is a threat to my safety because people can look at that and start harassing me or attacking me even more listening to him. So, with this much doubt, anything can be taken as, you can change and twist and turn facts however you want to do it.
Is there anything else that you feel that I should know prior to making a decision or in continuing my investigation? Anything else that you think that's relevant to these concerns? I understand that your concerns are broader around Busuu corruption, around student affairs process, around, some of the university processes. I understand that. But with respect to this narrow interaction, is there anything else I need to know?
Not that I can think of right now, but just generally, I do request that, if you're inviting me to, if you want to set up a hearing and stuff with me, please, figure out all the information from different sources. I do feel that there's a huge bias against me by student affairs. So it's totally unjust to me to take my time and, to add me, have me prepare all this information and stuff. There's information, a lot of it can be found from different sources, different witnesses. And I had a lot of stuff posted on my social media as well. So I do request student affairs to, before, having me join these hearings and stuff, to figure it out and find out what is actually the bottom of these issues.
I hear you. Thank you for that comment. Hiba, did you have anything else that you wanted to say as a witness?
So now she was, at this point she was just reiterating what I was saying, and then also talking about how she, again, as a witness, she saw all of this take place. She saw that, for example, so she saw Ashton as friends, make comments against me, against her as well, and then
Actually, that reminded me of one more thing as well. So Ashton, oh shoot, I forgot my point. Never mind.
Yeah, so she was talking about how she saw this happen, and she saw that Ashton, he kept commenting stuff, and then she checked at one point, and then at another point, he deleted his comments. His comments were no longer there on some of the posts, and then I can't think of much more, but that's that's pretty much the key points of what.
Okay, and so can I just verify that the information that you are telling me currently is because you have personally witnessed that, you have seen the comments prior, and then you saw them, you went back and looked after, and you realized that they were deleted. Okay, thank you. Okay, so I appreciate you coming today. I can appreciate your hesitancy to engage in the process. I would encourage you, and would ask you if you would be willing to send me those screenshots. I certainly have seen them, and Alicia and I have taken some notes about them, but it would be helpful if we had them as part of our decision-making process. So
Sure.
I would encourage you to send those to
I can send the screenshots. That's fine.
Thank you.
I actually didn't just send them the screenshots. I ended up compiling all the information and preparing a whole 12-page case summary for them, and they still made a decision against.
I would appreciate that. I will need some more time. I don't think I'm in a position right now to make a decision about this particular incident report. I'd like to see screenshots. I'd like to give some consideration, and perhaps collect more information if necessary. And so what I will say is that I will be back in touch in the next, probably at the end of the week. I will for sure do a check-in, let you know where I am in terms of making a decision.
You know how at the beginning they said, they can they can make a decision right away, determine a decision right away sometimes, and sometimes they have to look more into it. I gave them all the facts that they needed, and they're still telling me that they need more time to make a decision.
Marlo, why does it have to be in a hearing though?
Pardon?
Why do I go through a hearing and then wait for the answer after a hearing? Why can't we just decide, and then if a new hearing needs to be started against a certain student, then that can be done as well? So I feel that I gave information regarding what took place, and I think it's not fair for me to be held on a standstill and suspense to decide to get an answer for the decision regarding this hearing. It's totally unfair for me.
I understand that that there could be stress related to that. Absolutely.
Yeah,
And
I've already been given so much stress regarding this, and Alicia has read my letter as well. There's, I do not have a reason to trust this, and this is only causing me more issues. Please, it's not fair. I need a response right away for this. I gave it, I prepared everything. I prepared the document, I prepared information and all that just for you guys. And now, now that the information is out, you're saying you need to gather more information when, I'm being left for this hearing decision. Like what, anything could be done against me regarding the hearing, like, certain information, as we can see, it's already been twisted and turned. So more information can be twisted and turned against me. So I need an answer right away.
It's not about twisting and turning. It's about me being able to take into consideration what you've just told me. Hopefully being able to see those screenshots a little bit better. I mean, the reason why you provided that information to me is because you felt that there was a context.
Again, talking about how I felt that there was a context. There wasn't a context. I felt that there was a context
that needed to be taken into consideration, right? You felt that that I needed to know and fully understand the context in which your comment was made. And so I would really like to be able to see those screenshots to be able to make that decision and really to consider what
I showed you the screenshots, Marla.
I know you did, but I would like to be able to see them in better
4K quality.
It was stressing to see the whole thing and be able to read through the stream.
I can show it to you again right now if you want to read through it.
Sure, let's do that then.
Okay. And then now I'm being told that there's going to be a delay. That's getting me a little upset. It's getting me quite upset, to be honest.
I understand what you're saying, but you did request for the first hearing to be delayed. You did request for it to take place after May.
So I'm dealing with all of these issues along with exams, makeups, and everything as well, and the politics, the student union. And then they're telling me that it wasn't their fault that I wanted the meeting delayed. Like what?
Yeah, sat in exam.
Right, I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
But it wasn't just all of our delay. Okay, can you make that a little bit
bigger?
Yeah, can you make it a little bit bigger?
There we go. Date was 11th. I'll send the screenshots to you anyways after the meeting.
Perfect.
This was so
it doesn't, for me, it's not clear how that is related to you.
Can you see it? This one?
Yep. And again, it's not entirely clear to me how that one is related to you either.
So the previous one was related to this post. Can you see it on the screen? Sorry, on my screen. That was the post, and on that this was one of the comments, and Ashton was the one who liked it with commented wrote a negative comment with his friends. And so this one,
it's in terms of the evidence itself, it's not clear to me that is linked. You're telling me it's linked, but it's not clear to me it's linked.
You can see how they would need like exact evidence and everything for my claims to be justified. So I actually ended up giving them the link that they wanted, but it's just funny how they were being so picky and so like almost like they want to find faults in my arguments and mistakes and faults in my arguments.
What?
And evidence.
To what?
Well, because I don't, in your screenshot that you've taken, it doesn't have the flow. This is your comment, this is your friend's support, this is his other comment. Alicia, I see your hand is up. You're on mute.
Sorry.
That's okay.
Hi, thanks, Marla. Sorry, I just wanted to comment quickly.
So over here, Alicia steps in to, give Marla a chance to not make Alicia steps in so that Student Affairs doesn't have to make a decision right away, so that they can get time to go look at whatever information they need to look at, and then see if these facts are actual facts or not, or even twist and turn.
Just in terms of the turnaround, to clarify that there's also part of the process where the person who's adjudicating the hearing is allowed to go back to the policy and the student code of conduct and look through the points of which have been talked about in this meeting, and thoroughly go through with not only the meeting minutes, but the information that now you've submitted and brought forward, and also that HIBA has submitted and brought forward too. So there's in terms of compiling information and making sure that it's fair to you, that there's that process that happens right in the background, right? We pull up the student code of conduct and we go through those numbers and those points very specifically, and go through after stepping back from the meeting, right? There's a lot of information to take in. There's a lot of information that you've both shared. There's information that we didn't have previously, and so now that piece of it is huge, right? We're making either unfounded or founded decisions in this meeting and about this meeting that could potentially be, appealed.
So they're saying it's okay if we make the mistake. You can still appeal this. We don't have to make the right decision here. You can still appeal this and go through the rest of the process. Like, yeah, I'm doing all of this work for you, compiling all this information, and then forget about that. You still have to go through the rest. If we make a mistake, we're safe.
And gone up further in our department, and so this allows Marla an opportunity to be able to go through the student code of conduct. And
how is the person that cares about your mental health and stuff coming here and then speaking against you in your stance when you're asking them to talk about when you're asking them to make a decision and look at the facts that are already been put forth in this hearing? How is the person that cares about your mental health coming and speaking against you in this hearing? That just goes to show Brock's Brock prides itself in mental health and stuff, but you can see how double-faced they are.
Look through it very thoroughly and make sure that she is making a fair and just decision. So
it just sounds like she's gonna look for more things to catch me on student code of conduct.
Absolutely not. But I understand that this is a stressful process for you and that you want it done as soon as possible. But I think that Alicia's point is around.
It's not just stressful. It feels totally unfair. Unfair and totally biased, I'll be honest with you.
Well, it's actually quite in line with policy. It's exactly as Alicia was saying.
It's interesting. They keep bringing up the policy, different policies and stuff. But when they're asked to quote the policy, they never quote the policy, or they quote some random vague policy. It's because I read the policies and I know what exactly these guys are saying. They twist and turn. You can see in the decision too, in the next one, of how they try to say that I cannot make the recordings based on policy, but then they change their word and say that I can't make the recordings because it's not in their practice.
For us to be able to step back and to look at everything. My reason for wanting to go through the screenshots with you is, I'd rather clarify what I need now than have to go back to you after. But I still do think Alicia's point is very well made, that I will need to step back after this and make a decision. So
that's fine. How long, Marla? Could you give me a shorter timeline, please? Because you said a week. You'll keep in touch with me. That's that's very vague and doesn't give me
not what I said. What I said is I will absolutely get in touch with you by the end of the week.
Okay.
To touch base to let you know whether or not I'm in a position to make a decision. I for sure will circle back. It's not likely that it'll need to be that long, but I would rather.
So what do you mean whether you're in a position to make a decision or not? So are you saying that if you're not in a position to make a decision, what happens then?
If I'm not in a position,
if you consider yourself not to be in a position to make a decision.
If I'm not in a position to make a decision by the end of the week, that's because I'm information gathering. So, there may be more information that needs to come out. It's all part of the process. So if we can go back to the screenshots, I'm going to take a look at those. And what I need from you when you send them to me is to be able to see a link to you in that process where it says, when it's talking to vaguely, I'd like some.
Oh, that's what you're saying. So, okay, so this comment was written on this post, the one I just showed you. This wasn't made by me.
Right. So this was a post made by you, but so can you show me how that's linked on your phone then?
Okay, yes.
Out there?
Sure. So you see, this is the post.
Okay.
Can you see where my finger is?
Yes, I can see where your finger is.
So
if you can just make that a little.
Comments. You see the exact same comment is there, but Ashton's comment is deleted. He deleted himself.
Okay, perfect. That's good. I just needed to see the original post.
Yep.
And then what was the second original post?
It's the same post. So this one is the same post.
Mm-hmm.
This one.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you scroll all the way down, there's that comment. and Ashton's like deleted his likes, but you can see the say one of the same person in the
Okay.
screenshot on the screen.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Yep.
Okay, thank you for providing that. If you can send me those screenshots, that
Yep.
would be great. And we will be in touch with respect to outcome in this hearing. Definitely, I commit to following up with you regardless by the end of this week, but typically it shouldn't take that long. Okay. Thank
Appreciate
you
it.
so much for coming. If you have any other questions, let me know.
Thanks, Marla.
Thank you.
Alicia, take care.
Followed by the case summary, which has been posted. So the case summary was sent out by email to them right after the hearing, the following night, and then after that, the decision was made, and there was a recording done for the decision. So yeah, after that, the decision was made, and then the appeal process. So I end up sending them the case summary following this hearing, and then right after, the next day, she responded with a decision. This was before Friday, so in the hearing, she told me she's gonna touch base by Friday and check in with me. But she ends up, 3 days, 2 days. What is it? Friday, Wednesday, Thursday. 3 days later, 3 days earlier. I believe I sent the case summary on a Tuesday, and then right away the next day they ended up making a decision. So it's just funny how I sent the case summary, and then now they see that there's written proof. There's a whole case summary, because they thought this hearing wouldn't be recorded, but this hearing is recorded, and then that case summary was sent out, and then they made a decision right after the case summary was sent out, because that's written proof of what I forwarded them about the incident report. So they still ended up making a decision against